We had 8 people get 6-figure jobs through the program, and
Phenomenal.
2 of those were over 200,000. So,
And that was in AI technology, correct?
yeah, so we're the
Throughout my first year of teaching, I've really learned that literacy is the conduit to unlocking the world and the gateway to freedom. So we have to make sure that our students have the resources first so that they can learn second.
So I feel so fortunate at this stage in my life that I'm living in a community that I love so much.
All right, grab your favorite mug. It's time for coffee with your retirement coach. Welcome to Coffee with Your Retirement Coach.
Hey, buddy.
A little bit different, filming remotely at Jim R. Miller Park with a live studio audience. We're here for one reason and one reason only. One.
Nice.
Yeomans Consulting Group has been recognized as Best of Cobb, but this year,
Number one.
So grateful to all of our listeners, our clients, our friends in the community who voted for us. Randy, Nick, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
We have spent the night with some incredible friends, some incredible peers, got to do some really amazing interviews, which you guys are going to hear from soon. But what does something like this mean to the two of you that have been working on this for many, many years?
Well, I think what a special, thing to happen in our 30th year as a company.
I could not agree more.
To win the best investment firm in Cobb County in our 30th year. I mean, I think that says so much. And to our founder, Randy Yeomans, I mean, that's a big deal, right? I mean, how's that feel?
Pretty cool. I tell you what, recognize what happens when you put leadership in the team instead of in the leader.
Yeah.
And you've got people who are motivated, who care, who have an authentic desire to serve.
Yeah.
And, we really believe in the servant's heart, and it shows. And what was cool is we got to interview a lot of really great business owners, business leaders, people who are doing amazing things, in Cobb County and in Marietta. And I just thought that was so great that they took some time, share a little bit about their story.
Oh.
Aaron, looks like you did a fantastic job.
I had so much fun. I mean, just some incredible people here, and to get to hear a little bit about their stories. Like you said, Randy, we've got an amazing team. Our marketing director, our director of first impressions, when people come in, they feel like it's a people first organization. And that was the feeling I got with everybody we sat down with. That was their same.
And just thinking, I mean, for our audience, we're about to have a really, really special episode come up. I mean, we're going to interview some forward-thinking leaders right here in Metro Atlanta, Cobb County, Marietta, and these are people that have, created some unbelievable organizations who are leading unbelievable organizations from small, from 10, 15 people to these really large organizations where they're commanding, 100,000 volunteers. I mean, it's just amazing. And so I'm so excited for our audience really to check out this coming episode.
And for the younger people who might be listening to this, and I hope there's a few of you, I think it's really cool to hear from people who've done it. There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of naysayers, or a lot of people telling you can't do it. And the interviews are going to show where people came from, what they did to start.
Right.
And I hope that inspires you to think bigger, to follow a dream. And, all the naysayers, all the negative people who try and keep you from achieving.
Yes.
Just recognize, man, there are people out there that can do it. You may not make it the first time around, but if you've got the passion, you've got the insight, you feel like God's leading you to do something, this is the time. This is the place to do it. And you know what? We love Cobb County.
Yes.
We love the fact that we've had so many people here and around the country even, choose us to be their investment advisory firm and do their planning. But then you can see the people that we get to work with, in Cobb County that are just phenomenal leaders as well.
All right, I hate to leave you guys, but I'm getting ready to interview some of the movers and shakers that are a part of the Best of Cobb. We've got some that are reigning champions. We've got some first-timers to this event, and I couldn't be more excited, and I think you're going to be really pumped to hear their stories, you guys. So hang on for this. All right, guys, we're here at Best of Cobb with Nate. He's a part of workforce development at Must Ministries. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Nate, before we get started, Yeomans, our clients, they love what you guys do.
Thank you.
And they love the opportunity. Tax optimization's big about what we do.
Right.
So we've got qualified charitable distributions that are headed y'all's way, things that are coming from people's donor advised funds, because you guys just do an amazing work.
Well, we're blessed to do what we do. This last year has been just phenomenal for us. we served almost 2,000 people in our workforce development program. We were able to report on 800 jobs, a little over 800. Now, that doesn't mean 1,200 people didn't get employed.
Right.
But our 47% return rate on that, the industry average is 15%. So
wow.
we're really doing well on actually getting those people on the phone. We did over 6,500 calls to find out if people are working after we provided service to them. We were able to put back $28.5 million in combined incomes. Our average hourly is $18.29 an hour right now, and we're looking to drive that a little higher. We had 8 people get 6-figure jobs through the program, and
Phenomenal.
2 of those were over 200,000. So,
and that was in AI technology, correct?
Yeah. So we're the only workforce development organization, and we've been doing this for 2 years with AI to help people. We use AI to help people build resumes as well as do mock interviews. Now, the mock interview piece, the AI and the resume is amazing, but the mock interview piece is really kind of creepy, futuristic, cool.
All right.
It will give you feedback on all your physicality in the camera when you're doing the virtual interview.
Yeah.
But it also will talk to you about how fast or slow you're speaking, pitch, if you're using too many filler words, and then it takes for each question what you did well, tells you what you did well, what could use some improvement, how to impress the interviewer when asked this question, and then it takes what you said and what it recommends and weaves it together so it sounds like your words, so you know exactly what to say for those interviews.
We always say everybody needs a coach, and it sounds like that's phenomenal coaching.
And it's accessible, free of charge, 24/7.
That's phenomenal. Well, and again, that's the reason that you guys consistently are part of Best of Cobb. What does an event like this or an honor like this mean to you guys?
Well, it humbles us. You know, I mean, there's so many amazing organizations. We partner with a lot of those. And for us to kind of be named this honor is just, it humbles us.
Gotcha.
And allows us to be very appreciative of the blessings that we receive.
I love it. Well, Nate, I got to ask you, because you know the question we ask a lot. What's important about money to you, and what's your first money memory?
Oh, goodness. My first money memory of any money, I remember my mom, who worked several jobs, she was a single mom, tasked me with the responsibility of going down to the corner. There was a mailbox back when they had them on the corner.
Right.
And there was a $100 check that was in this envelope.
Okay.
And she gave me that responsibility. Now, I was probably about 12 years old.
Sure.
And you might as well had $1 million in my hand. So I remember I put it in there and checked about 4 times to make sure it
absolutely
into the post office box. But that's probably my first memory. And what's important to me.
And that's where stewardship began for you.
Yeah, it's like when you get it, be careful.
I have a better picture than I've ever had right now, by the way.
And we're very blessed. The last several years in my own personal life, we were able to pay off a large amount of debt for us, and we have broke that kind of bonds of debt.
Phenomenal.
And as of today, actually.
I love it.
So it's a celebration.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a celebration today, along with the celebration here.
Awesome. Well, listen, if you guys are looking for an opportunity, like we said, looking for a place to give, this is a great place to do it. Nate, I know you got a lot to do, a lot of people to talk to. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with us.
Thank you, Aaron. It's been an absolute blessing.
Have a great night
Appreciate
again.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Now, we all know that the financial planners on the podcast have faces for radio, so we've upped that. Special Best of Cobb invite. Miss Cobb County 2025, Aaliyah Phillips. Aaliyah, thanks for sitting down with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Listen, I'm really excited because not only are you an amazing person, it's been great sitting here and getting to know you.
Thank you.
You've got some amazing things on the docket.
Yes.
Community service initiatives I'd love for you to talk about.
Yes. So my community service initiative is called Spreading Literacy Through Reading, and it focuses on engaging learners through education, mentorship, and policy advocacy. So throughout my reign as Miss Cobb County, I've been able to distribute over 3,500 books to kids in not only the Atlanta area, but across the state of Georgia, specifically targeting Title I schools because I am a proud Title I public school educator.
I was just about to say, so
yes.
Reading is a focus for this year, but every day for you during the school year.
It is. Throughout my first year of teaching, I've really learned that literacy is the conduit to unlocking the world and the gateway to freedom. So we have to make sure that our students have the resources first so that they can learn second.
It opens up so many doors. What led you to education?
That's a great question. Just growing up, I really feel like my parents did a really good job of honing in on the fact that education is the passport to the future, and it belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Good
and
parents.
So it's important, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to know that if you want to accomplish any dream, you have to be educated first.
Absolutely. Did you have a favorite teacher?
I did. My kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Cannon.
Well, and then you went to kindergarten.
Yes. And then I'm teaching kindergarten.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
I'm just deeply inspired by her. She made
big
every
deal.
student in her classroom feel visible and valuable and feel accepted. And that's something I try to do in my classroom
Well,
as well.
I get the feel from this meeting that's exactly what you do.
Yes.
All right, so I have to ask you, you've heard me ask the other people that have stopped by, what's important about money to you, and what's your first money memory?
I believe money is important because it's important to know how to spend your money, how to save, how to look at prices, and how to really be able to know what to do next.
Yes.
And so I'm a real proponent, especially as a kindergarten teacher, of financial literacy.
Yes.
So I'd have to say that my first money memory would probably be saving up my money from the Tooth Fairy to get my favorite toy. So
What was
every
the
time,
favorite toy at the time?
a Barbie dream house. Yes.
So you were sitting there.
Yes.
Are we there yet?
I know.
Come on, Ken.
I know. And so my parents, well, the Tooth Fairy, would give me money.
Good call.
Would put $5 under my, pillowcase,
Yep.
depending. But my molars, they were very expensive. I'd get like $10.
As they
maybe
should
15.
be. And you have a
Yes.
gorgeous smile, so it should
Thank you.
it should be on a premium.
Thank you.
Between inflation and quality care.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Well, Leah, I know you've got a lot of people to meet and greet. It's amazing that you're here. Thanks for taking the time to stop by our
Thank
table.
you for having me.
Awesome. Absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right. We're sitting here with Taylor Rambo, the development director at the Strand Theater, the 90-year-old Strand Theater this year.
Absolutely.
Listen, if we can all make it to 90.
I know.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us. We've had some amazing events at the Strand that we partnered with you guys at Christmas time and things like that. Can you talk to everybody about what kind of experiences you could expect if you come out to the Strand?
Absolutely. I mean, we have so many different events throughout the year. We have 150 or more dates of things we produce.
That's wild.
So that's not the rentals. That's everything that we produce, from comedy shows to live theatrical performances, live music. We even have silent films with live organ accompaniment, which is one of the only theaters in the state of Georgia to do that. I mean, we have so much for anyone to enjoy at the Strand.
I feel like a lot of our clients get excited about Mamma Mia and margaritas. Is that a big popular?
It is so popular, and it's coming up in a couple of weeks, actually, and so we're really excited about it.
You know, one of the things that I think, and some people may know this or may not, but you guys are a nonprofit.
We are, yes.
Can you talk about what is the decision between going nonprofit or for-profit, and why nonprofit was the best fit for the Strand?
Absolutely. So, the first, many decades of the Strand's existence, it was a for-profit theater.
Gotcha.
And when we reopened it in about 2008, 2009, we reopened it as a nonprofit to commit to the community that we would be a resource for the community, that we would create diverse experiences for everyone in the community. And that really drives us. We have education programs. We worked with the Kennesaw State University School of Music jazz students last week in a concert. We brought every single fifth grader from Marietta City Schools to the Strand a few weeks ago so they could learn what kind of arts they could get involved with in sixth grade.
That's huge.
It's the heart at the center of it that's important to us.
All right, so you've got the main theater, but then you've also got Lumiere's and Brew with a View.
Yes.
Fantastic spot. So if somebody wants to get involved or support, could you talk about those things?
Absolutely. So surprisingly enough, in Best of Cobb this year, not only did we win the best live theater, not only did we win best concert venue, but we actually won best wedding venue in Cobb County.
Okay, no, I didn't know. That's okay.
Is that wild?
The first two did not surprise me. That one, now that's incredible. Now, is that up on the Brew with a View balcony?
So folks rent our auditorium for ceremonies. Our Lumiere Lounge was beautifully decorated with flowers for a ceremony. And people will do the rooftop view. It's the only publicly accessible rooftop deck on the Marietta Square.
It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they reopened the Strand back in the 2000s, they did so with the idea that we wanted to have revenue generating spaces. So that also creates a space for our community to come in and enjoy themselves, anytime on the Marietta Square.
I tell you what, between everything that's going on with the way of new businesses, new restaurants, everything happening on Church Street, we're very lucky to be anchored by something as amazing as the Strand in the corner right there. Now I want to ask you a couple personal questions.
Sure.
Give me a memory about money and tell me what's important about money to you.
Memory about money. So when I was a kid, I used to go to our favorite neighborhood Mexican restaurant, Viva Mexico.
Well, yes, good choice.
And there was a Super Pac-Man machine there. Well, I can't tell you how many quarters I put into that machine over the years because my family would go there almost every single week.
Understood.
And we loved it.
Yeah.
And honestly, the funny thing about that was it was a 2-player machine.
Okay.
So we had kids that I became friends with just going to that restaurant and us spitting quarters into that machine together and playing Super Pac-Man.
So the importance of experiences and connections and having the right funds to do it.
Absolutely.
That's huge. That's huge. If you had to brag on one other business here at Best of Cobb, who's just one or two of your favorites? You guys work with so many businesses.
Wow. Well, I mean, yeah, we do work with so many businesses.
Yes.
I do want to shout out Must Ministries.
Yes.
We have an advisory board member from Must Ministries, and they do such a great job.
Nate came by for an interview.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm
good.
going to grab Ike here soon, too.
Oh, that's wonderful. But yeah, Katie Ruth Camp is on our advisory board, so we're very thankful for her.
Awesome.
Superior Plumbing, community institution,
Yes.
and Jay Cunningham is just one of the most engaged board members. He's always keeping us on our toes, making sure that we're keeping our finances good
That's huge.
so that we can keep serving
And
the
you can't go to the
community.
box office without seeing Superior.
Oh, absolutely not.
Awesome. Taylor, I know you got a lot to do, but I appreciate you stopping by so much.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
for your time.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. All right, we're getting a sound down with Connie Bullock from the Bullock Hope House. Thank you so much for taking time to stop by here at Best of Cobb.
Thank you.
Big winners in your 20th anniversary year, is that right?
Correct.
Awesome.
Yes.
Connie, could you talk to us a little bit about, for somebody that might not be familiar with who you guys are, what you guys do, and the hospitals you guys work with?
Okay, yes. We have the Bullock Hope House. It's a hospitality home. It's my husband's family home. And we started our foundation in 2005.
Okay.
We work with local area hospitals. And what we do, we welcome in patients from more than 40 miles from their hospital
Yeah.
with their caregiver, and we allow them to stay in our home for free for as long as they are going into treatments.
Yeah. Because there's so many times where people have procedures where they have to travel for those kind of things, and then they're in a strange. That's awesome. That's incredible. That's incredible. Talk to us about if somebody wants to get involved with you guys or support you guys, what does that look like?
Yes, we are always looking for sponsors. We have our annual Golf for Hope tournament this coming September.
Yep. So for all of our golfers, especially the retirees in our bunch.
Yes. So we'll celebrating our 14th year with the Golf for Hope tournament.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
It seems to be a lot of people that are into that. Golf and pickleball.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Now, Connie, we're here. We're at the Best of Cobb. Are there any other businesses here that you are especially excited to be rubbing shoulders with tonight?
Oh, yes. I love Must Ministries.
Yes. They're a favorite.
They're a favorite. I personally know some folks that work with them. And Ansley Realty.
Yep.
Folks there. And actually, I haven't had a time to walk around.
And I'm keeping you.
Except to go eat.
Now, the food was great.
Food was, $18.85. I can't leave.
They're always great, but I did misbehave. I went to nothing bundt cake first.
Oh, yeah.
So I started with the buntini. Yeah. All right, let me ask you. How do you feel about taxes? Do you feel like you're paying too much in taxes?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, let's ask you this. Let's see. What about estate planning? Are you confident with your documents?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All right, awesome. How important is a thorough estate plan in your mind?
Oh, 100% important.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm going to ask you that dreaded question. What's your first money memory?
Oh, gosh.
I've been hearing wild stories from early childhood, so nothing would surprise us.
I remember when I was little, and we were going down the road. My dad was a painter, and he had just gotten a job, and he got $20 for it. And he was holding his hand out the window, and the $20 bill went flying, and we had to go back, and we found it.
That's an Easter egg hunt with higher stakes. Well, that's awesome that you found it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But there was shock in the car when it.
It's like, oh my gosh, that's my last $20 bill.
Oh my goodness, that's wild. It is funny how the value of money can definitely be shaped by moments and circumstances. Well, Connie, listen, I know you're busy. There's a lot of people to meet and greet here. Thank you so much for stopping by our booth. Appreciate so much what you do.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So excited to be sitting down with Richard Reimer. Richard, initiating protection?
Yes.
What an amazing story. I'm going to get you to catch them up. One, I think law school would be extremely intimidating. And then specifically into IP and brand protection. There's a lot of people, they come up with that idea. They've got this thing and it's like, I've got this amazing name for my business, this idea and this concept, and you help them to make sure they can protect it. I want you to talk about all those things, and let's start first in order. What drew you to law school?
I was an 8-year-old who told everyone he was going to go to law school. Even though I didn't know what a lawyer was, I just knew that was my destiny. I had a coach in soccer when I was 10 years old who was a lawyer and was always an advocate for us. Even though it wasn't in the legal capacity, I'm like, if that's what a lawyer is, that's what I want to be. And as an 18-year-old going off to college, I knew that I was heading towards law school. Went to the University of Georgia. I got an undergraduate degree in accounting. And due to circumstances, my family was paying for it myself and realized I was not going to be able to go straight to law school from undergrad. I started using my CPA degree. I got a master's in taxation along the way. I worked for KPMG. I was a CPA. I did all the things you would like and hated it. I hated it. And about 5 years into my accounting career, I remember looking in the mirror and wondering, how could I do this for another 30 years? And at that moment, the 5-year-old came out and said, when are we going to law school?
Wow.
And I realized I had a wife, I had a mortgage, I had these other obligations, but I could still go to law school in the evening and work during the day. So I did that for the next 4 years. And I tell everyone that was my second best professional decision ever, was taking the plunge, taking the commitment, taking the risk, and going to law school and sort of changing my career.
It would have been easy to stay saved.
It would have been very easy.
All right, well, first of all, go Dogs.
Yes, absolutely.
And second of all, as a former youth soccer coach, yes.
I've coached 30 since then because I've given back, and I love that I've touched one of those kids the way that man touched me.
It's huge. You forget the influence that you have. You're there, they're exhausted from school.
Yes.
They're operating in something they're passionate about, maybe not as much as the studies sometimes. Let's talk about that. You made that pivot. You did the night school thing. You started practicing law, and accidentally found your passion.
I accidentally found my passion, exactly. After I had graduated, I was working in a corporate group and enjoying myself versus what I was doing as an accountant. It seemed like a dream.
Yeah.
And about 3 or 4 months into my career, I was given a project that involved intellectual property. At the time, I didn't really even understand what intellectual property was. I had not taken a class in law school. I had not really been given any proper training in that area. And I told the partner who gave me the project, you're really gonna have to help me. I don't know what's going on. He said, don't worry, I'll take you through it. During the project, I fell in love.
Wow.
Like a light switch went on and somehow a magic moment happened. And I remember thinking, is this candid camera? Is this like some joke that someone's pulling on me? Do you really get paid to do this? And it resonated.
Yeah.
From that moment forward, I decided that is the area of law I want to focus on. And doing 10% of the work per year turned into 20 to 30 and eventually 100%. And for 20 something years now, that's all I've done is intellectual property law.
So for those entrepreneurs, those inventors, those idea guys, how do you come alongside them and protect what they have?
Absolutely. The origin of how a consumer understands what they're buying is a brand. It's amazing how powerful brands are.
Absolutely.
You go down the street at 50 miles an hour and whiz past a McDonald's sign and immediately know it's a McDonald's, even if you're in a strange part of town, because the color scheme, the shapes. I remember when my daughter was 2 years old, she's now 20 years old, we went past, in a different part of town, went past a Publix, and she said, Dad, it's a Publix. I'm like, oh, I've got the smartest kid ever. She said, I see the green pea. I'm like, all right. You know, even this 2-year-old knows that's how you identify Publix.
Yeah.
And we do that all the time. And to have that connection, to have that ownership is so important. And I think small businesses often miss the fact that there's ownership there. It didn't just happen.
Yeah.
It's something that those large companies have worked for.
Right.
For 16 years, I worked for large law firms representing those big clients who knew very well what they needed to do to own that brand.
Gotcha.
And I represented them, helping them doing that. Loved it, by the way. It was a lot of fun. But what I didn't love was so frequently I would pick up the phone to call in a party that was infringing my client's rights.
Yeah.
And the story I heard back was, but I didn't know. What are you talking about? did Bob put you up to this? Is this a joke?
Yeah.
And I realized that the small business owner had no idea.
Right.
That
and they don't know what they don't know.
And that's true for all of us. And this is an area that is just so darn important. After hearing that for 4 or 5 years, I realized I've got to help. I've got to represent. I've got to educate. I've got to inform. This community needs more than it's currently getting.
Bringing that wisdom and tools to small business is massive. It's massive.
Yes. And
so speaking of those kind of businesses here at the Best of Cobb, what are some of those businesses that you're excited to be here tonight rubbing shoulders with?
Well, I'll talk about some of my clients. In this room right now, Up and Away Junk Hauling is one.
Right.
I love Taylor. I love what he brings to the table, and I love his brand. I love being part of that growth that he has.
Right.
Nature's Pick, just down at this last aisle. Another one of my newer clients. Yogesh has got a lot going on over there.
Yep.
Love being part of that and helping him grow that brand.
If you have been stuck in traffic on Whitlock, you know them.
Yes, very well.
Awesome. Well, let me ask you something. Dive back to those not necessarily the favorite days, but in that CPA moment, thinking about what's important about money to you.
What's important about money to me is, first of all, it's what makes the life go round. It's a shame that is the currency that we have to use to be able to enjoy all the things in life. But you can have all the passion in the world. Like I have passion for small businesses. If I did not have money to get my firm off the ground and started, I would never be able to fuel that passion. So understanding 100%. That you need to plan for tomorrow, understanding that you have to take care of your obligations. And it's really the way that you keep your word. I love keeping my word, and it's money that helps me keep it.
No, you're right. You're exactly right. Do you have an earliest money memory?
Oh, there's two. I was prepped for this question, I'll tell you. And I've been thinking, and it's not the earliest money memory I have, but when I was 7 years old, my grandfather gave me a Polaroid camera.
Okay.
And the Polaroids, as you might remember, you push the button and out comes the picture.
Right. 10
seconds or a minute, and out you can finally see the picture. My grandfather told me, every time you push that button, that's 50 cents you're spending.
That's good. Yeah.
And to me at the time, 50 cents was a lot of money, so I pushed the button sparingly.
And the pictures were meaningful.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Listen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I know you got a lot of people to hang out with, but Richard, we appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much.
Amazing story. And I didn't know the CPA part.
Yeah, there you go. Always something hidden in us, right?
Love it. Take care.
All right.
All right. This might be my favorite one yet.
Woo!
Kevin McNerney, Brewmaster at the Glover Park Brewery.
So happy to be here.
Listen,
this is a big occasion here tonight.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Best of Cobb. We've been Best of Cobb. Well, you guys have been Best of Cobb for a long time. We've been on the list. We cracked number 1.
Hey, welcome to the team.
Thank you so much. I really want to thank Kevin. Glover Park Brewery, you guys stepped up and helped us with our St. Patrick's Day podcast episode. So if you watch us on YouTube, you noticed on the table familiar glasses, familiar crowlers, and it's probably some of your favorite flavors. Kevin, thanks for being here, and thanks for all your support, man.
Our honor, and we're super excited to share it with you. Look forward to many more years. We've been open for 6.5 years at Glover Park. It's hard to believe that 6.5 years is come and gone, but we really feel like we have some established stability in the market. We have a lot of loyal people and friends and family.
It's always a great crowd.
It's a good crowd.
You guys always, it's funny because you look around the room.
Yeah.
There's business being transacted, deals closed, dates happening, people meeting up with friends, and then oftentimes nonprofits or like Krejci. I mean, you guys host everything.
I'm responsible for only all the positive things, only all the good things.
Everything.
I mean, the divorces and
that's
trouble with the law. I'm not taking any responsibility for that.
I've seen very few drinks thrown, but that might be because of how good the beer is.
Yes, indeed.
Hank, I would love for you to talk. So with us, one of the things that we value is coaching.
Yeah.
How did you get into this, and who was that person that helped you make that transition? Because this is not an easy thing to get into or continue to be successful with.
True. So I started my career in the brewing industry in 1991.
Yep.
I started in Boulder, Colorado. And to a degree, I had a significant beer budget that needed to be satisfied. And my, I was studying economics in Colorado. So I had a idea of, what needs, this can't be sustainable.
Right.
So I got a job in a brewery where the beer floweth for free.
Absolutely.
And, so that was my first big move.
It's prudent at that point.
Very important financial planning move.
Yeah.
as I was like 21 years old. But I really had the good fortune in Colorado to learn under some great mentors, learn the industry at an early stage in craft beer. Really, Colorado was one of those states that was one of the pioneer states in craft beer.
Gotcha.
Just knew who to connect with, knew who would help me along.
Yeah.
And there was so many people along the way that I could learn from.
Yeah.
And I took that and built on it. In 1996, my college roommate and I decided to open up a brewery, and we opened up Sweetwater Brewing in 1996.
Yeah.
One thing that intrigues me with the brewing industry that I knew that I would always enjoy is that I knew that there was never a point that I would learn everything about the industry.
It's ever evolving.
Yeah. So,
and from your seat, you get to, I mean, I would call you an artisan.
Yeah.
I've had some pretty cool things that you've crafted that I haven't had anywhere else.
Artisan.
Yeah.
Veteran.
Yes. All those things.
Is that what you're trying to tell me? Old?
Seasoned.
Yeah. And at this point, I have, throughout my career, I've always given back.
Yes.
I've always taken some younger people that want to come up in the industry and taught them as people taught me.
Yeah.
And some of those people have gone on to do amazing.
There can be a lot of gatekeeping
Yeah.
in your industry, but you're so giving, you're so sharing, you want people to learn.
Yeah. Because I think that's what makes our industry great.
Yeah.
And it can be compared across any industry.
Yeah.
Is like the more that you share knowledge, the more you're respected.
Yeah.
And, I think that only strengthens what your cause is and what you stand for.
We love the wisdom of iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because I look back and there's people that I hired as young apprentices working the bottling line, working the keg line, and now they own some of the largest breweries in the country.
It's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Very cool.
Well, speaking of being surrounded by good people, Yeomans has the good fortune of being your neighbor.
Yeah.
Which makes it amazing. Although I have had clients that have walked out into the parking lot with me at the end of the day and say, there's a note to your car. Are you in trouble? I'm like, no, that's from the Brewmaster.
Yeah.
He's letting me know the schnitzel's ready and the pretzels are warm.
I know what it is to be a good neighbor.
Well, and I know how special it is to get a love note from your Brewmaster.
Not everybody can claim that.
That's a humble brag that I'm going to flex a lot.
Keep in mind, I love my wife, my kids.
Yes, yep. Speaking of good neighbors and being in good company, you guys have been a part of Best of Cobb for a long time.
Yeah.
What are some other businesses here that you've had the good fortune of knowing or working with or coming in for events that you'd love to brag on?
Well, we have had the good fortune of being part of Best of Cobb, and I think that is one thing where we're really in our community. Our community loves Glover Park Brewery. They spend a lot of time there with their family, their friends, all seasons.
Yeah.
Summer, winter, Beers Giving, Mardi Gras, St. Patrick's Day. And I feel like we're there for the community. And when, we're there for people to celebrate, we're there for people to sulk.
Yeah.
If there's in good times and in bad, we're just there to support.
It is wild how versatile y'all's space is throughout the seasons, because if it's cold, I love being outside around the fires. Yeah. Maybe get a hot slice of pizza or the pretzel that I talked about earlier. Inside on the shuffleboard's great. But I've also been a part of some beautiful events upstairs. Yeah. That's the other piece. I think some people don't realize how, dare I say, elegant y'all's upstairs space is. Yeah. Beautiful weddings and gatherings happening there all the time.
That's one thing we've kind of are trying to re-identify with, is that we're known as a brewery and we're known as a tap room. We have many beers and seltzers, and now we do spirits.
Right.
We have cocktails. We have some wine on tap. But a lot of times what people don't know is that we do host a lot of beautiful events.
Absolutely.
We do a lot of charity events. One of our biggest ones is for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Yep.
It's called Ring the Bell. We do that in September. A lot of weddings. I enjoy the weddings a lot because I like when people come to Glover Park. They're united with the person they love.
Yeah.
And they'll forever know Glover Park as their space.
Yeah.
As their place that they came together.
Well, and you and I were talking about this.
Pretty good.
It's
hopefully they stay together.
No, it's really good. And you and I were talking before we started recording. My 40th birthday was right there at the beginning of COVID. And my wife reached out to you guys and was like, can we do it? Can we come here? And again, some of those guys I had not seen in a while. And it was a moment where there'd not been a whole lot of gathering going on. Yeah. And it's a moment that I've got that is right there, and it's a part of Glover Park. So again, that's awesome. Let me ask something that we've been asking a lot of the people that sit down, if they remember their first money memory. And we also want to know what's important about money to you. Do you got any thoughts on either one of those ideas?
Well, this is the thing with beer. A lot of times people refer to beer as liquid gold.
I can see that.
I've been blessed in my career. What I do is a lot of hard work.
Yes.
I've dedicated and committed to it. And some things have worked out for me. I happened to jump into an industry at a good time that was very well received. Sweetwater went quickly to be the 14th largest craft brewery in the country.
Yeah. You can't be a Braves fan and not have it in the back of mind.
Yeah. So what would be the first moment? I mean, has to be early on, when I was just trying to figure out how to be successful and how to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And that probably, we opened up Sweetwater when we were 26 years old. So we had not a really big basket of knowledge.
Gotcha.
We had a little bit of tenacity, and we knew a little bit about beer, and we had a good inclination that this was going to be a good industry. But other than that, it was just a leap of faith. And
which we're so glad you took.
Some of our friends and family saw that we were dedicated, and they supported us.
Yeah. Passion and tenacity are two of the biggest pieces.
Some of my earlier entrepreneurial things, I don't know if would be fitted for your podcast.
I understand.
We sold, the first thing I mentioned earlier was I realized that I had a desire and an affinity for craft beer.
Yeah.
And when I was in college, I couldn't afford that craft beer.
Yeah.
So I think what I already mentioned earlier was to get a job in a brewery that could
unlock the door for the better stuff.
So, okay, I can't afford it, so let me make it.
Yes.
Let me learn how to do it and, figure it out and crack the code.
I love that.
And that was 33 years ago. So
that's huge. And again, we're so glad that you cracked that
33 years
code.
ago and 33 pounds ago.
So I know we have to be more of a tease in this moment. There's some amazing things going on in Marietta.
Yeah.
New restaurants, new shops, Church Street's going crazy.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of great things to the pedestrian walkways, the sidewalks, and all that kind of stuff. But if you like those kind of exciting news and updates, you need to stay tuned and pay attention to Glover Park. Am I fair in saying that?
You're spot on.
Yeah.
You're spot on. We got a lot of great things going on at Glover Park and in Marietta. And I'll just share with you, my partners, Sam Rambo and Hank Dupree, they're old. They're not old, but they've born and raised in Marietta.
Right.
Sorry, Sam. Sorry, Hank.
They knew what we meant.
But when I first met them, their full intention of opening up this brewery was to revitalize and bring back the vibrant Marietta Square that they remembered when they were kids.
Yeah.
Then when they were teenagers.
Sure.
And that was the definition. And I feel like to a degree, Glover Park has contributed to that. And we're so excited about all the other businesses that are continuing to do well around Marietta Square.
Yeah.
Shocktoberfest and all the great festivals that we have.
Absolutely.
And for you guys, you guys are the most amazing neighbors. And aside from business, What we realize, whether you're in the financial industry or whether you're in the brewing industry, is what we excel on is community.
Yeah.
If you provide something for the community, you guys are providing.
Put the people first.
You're developing relationships. You know, like we said, we have occasions of all kinds. We have weddings. We have celebrations of life. We have all of it.
Yeah.
And we're there to support the community.
And all of those events draw people to our doors. Yeah. Marriages, events, good markets, bad markets.
Yeah.
They're coming to hang out with us.
Yeah.
Kevin, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you so much.
And we look forward to doing this next year.
Yes.
When we continue 2026.
Continue our reign. Yes.
Woo, yeah.
So excited. We're here at Best of Cobb. I'm sitting down with Ike Reichard, CEO of Must Ministry, lead pastor at Piedmont Church. Ike, I've heard you preach so many messages.
I'm so sorry.
No, and you know that's not true. You have got one of the most inviting, awesome space churches. It's gorgeous.
It is.
You have got one of the most incredible sprawling ministries through Must. I was talking with Nate tonight as well. So many of our clients get excited when they can take advantage of qualified charitable distributions, distributions from their donor advised funds, and partner up with what's going on at Must. So I know you're busy tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down.
Oh, listen, I'm so honored to be with you. And you know, one of the things I tell people about Must that I'm most proud of is we're a Charity Navigator 4-star. Charity Navigator, that independent third-party rating system, and they only rate to a 4-star. That's my only downside with them. I wish they did 5.
5 does
people go, why aren't you a 5-star?
But I'll do it.
You know, this past year, well, the last 2 years, we've had a perfect 100% rating from them, which is something that we've tried to achieve for a long time. To put it into donor language, we ran Must the last 2 years on 9 cents of every dollar. So 91 cents went to the programs that we, you know, have out there to help take care of our community and to be that non-governmental agency that comes alongside to provide services that makes our community a better place to live.
Well, and that's a ratio that you can be so excited about the money that you're contributing, knowing that kind of power of your dollar.
Absolutely.
You guys, the clinic is, I think, probably the newest expansion for you guys. Would you want to talk about that?
It will be, absolutely. Okay, awesome. It's something else I think you'll love. When we started out, we wanted to be able to relocate our offices.
Yes.
We wanted to be able to build a clinic. We wanted to be able to put in a food pantry and build a homeless shelter from the ground up.
Yep.
Not a repurposed building, but to build it new. So the whole project, it turns out, has been about a $27 million project. We had 2 pieces of property that we were able to sell, one of them to Grace Point School and, school for children that battle dyslexia.
Yeah.
So it's a fabulous school.
Absolutely.
And so they bought our old headquarters. So altogether, we took in about $4.5 or $5 million, which means we had to raise about $22 to $22.5 million. And we're down to about the last $150,000.
Unbelievable.
And we will have built the entire thing debt-free.
Yeah.
We've never had a loan to build this building. And so we're so excited because we just believe that next bit of money is going to come in.
Yeah.
And we just had incredible partners and a church in our community called Victory Church.
Yeah.
They gave us a gift of $315,000, which meant that we would be able to finish it out. We've got the funding, but for our minds, we're saying we're down to that last little bit.
Yeah.
And so it will be completely debt-free.
You know, Ike, you mentioned the ability to help people who are homeless or needing rehab. The extension is another one of those amazing programs.
They're great people.
Before we started recording, I let you know I've got a childhood friend that has recently been able to take advantage of that. And I just want to let you know, again, somebody that's in that situation, they have to be ready. They have to be ready to make that change, to start to pivot. And I want to honor you. I want to say, I believe that when I let him know the extension was a part of Must Ministries, it was the things that guys like you and Nate were a part of, and it was names he knew and trusted. And I believe he came around to that decision quicker with the support of his parents, because it was names and people that he trusted, and he was ready to make that move. And the report of his after he's, come into the extension, phenomenal experience already. So I just want to thank you because, one, the ministry is important, but when it's backed by the integrity of all the other things that Must's doing, I think that helps people be ready. I think it helps people open the purse strings quicker. because they know they can trust. They've seen you all in the community, seen you be a part of Best of Cobb for years. But then also people that are trying to make those life-changing decisions, they're putting their lives in hands that they trust. And so thank you so much for what you're doing.
Well, you're kind of say that. Tyler Driver, who's the CEO at the Extension, is wonderful. He used to be on the staff of Must. And so the Extension is separate from Must.
Right.
But we partner together. And one of the things we're excited about with the clinic is now we know we're going to have a place right across the street, right down the street, where those folks are going to be able to come, and we can get them not only the physical health care, but also behavioral, because so many of the times people are battling different issues in their life, sometimes mental illness in their life. And so we want to be able to treat them holistically. And Must has had 54 years of being in the community. And the two people groups they started out to help, they wanted to help senior adults and hippies. So you know how old Must Ministry is.
I love it.
We haven't had a lot of hippies come through the door lately, but if they do, we're going to be ready for
initiative.
Them. Absolutely.
If somebody gets excited about hearing this, or they remember seeing the barrel at Christmas time, how would you encourage or direct people to get involved, whether that's volunteering, supporting monetarily, or anything like that?
Well, first of all, the volunteering is huge, because if you come volunteer there and you see what goes on, you're going to walk away with a deep appreciation. It's like when people come to work at Must, and I'll be interviewing them, and I'll tell them, if you come here, when you lay your head down on the pillow at night, you will not have to wonder if your day counted, because you'll see it in action in front of you. So a lot of people get excited about Must because they come to volunteer. And so you can go on our website at mustministries.org, and you can find the volunteer button there.
Awesome.
And we love that. In 2019, we had 17,000 people who volunteered at Must. That's how we can run the organization on 9 cents of every dollar, is because you've got so many people giving their time, and you'll meet incredible people when you come and you volunteer. So that would be number one. And then number two, obviously donations make all the difference in the world. And so we appreciate it. And as a lot of people will say, there's no gift too small, and there's certainly not one too large to be able to help us in what we do. So,
it's amazing.
You know, we're excited about our future. We're excited about having this campus debt-free. Now that gives us the ability to see what's next for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to say, you guys have always accepted our team and let us come in at the holidays and at different times. Your team always makes us feel like we're making the biggest impact. It's always an incredible experience.
You are.
Well, it feels that way.
I mean, we couldn't do it. Well, unless we've got those people who have a heart for something like this. It's like the toy store this year. You know, we had 7,600 children that came through our toy store. And you think about like Clark's kids, Clark Howard. They're taking care of kids that are in foster care. We're taking care of kids that their parents are in a bad place in their life. And we've been fortunate to be at Town Center Mall. Hopefully this will be our third year there at Town Center. But this year, when we finished up with about 6,500 kids all getting their toys, and each child may get around 10 gifts. Now, a gift might be
amazing gifts, like the quality and the way that everybody's treated.
It's top notch.
Top notch.
It is. Could be gloves, but we also have people like C.W. Matthews. They love to give bicycles. And so what we do, we're better than Nordstrom's. You get your own personal shopper when you come in. And then these parents get to make the choice. One thing I learned about poverty is that you lose choices. And you just get what people give you. And we call it creating parity rather than charity. And you create parity by involving choice in it. So these parents get to come in and choose these gifts. That way they can look at their children on Christmas morning and go, this is what we picked out for you. But this year, we had some toys left over. So we got to call the special needs teachers in Cobb County to come in and to get things for their classroom. So we were able to accommodate about another 1,200 kids through that particular program. Our first year to do that, I don't think it's going to be our last.
I love that so much. One of our big things that we love to celebrate at Yeomans, we believe that everybody needs a coach. Who would you say has been in that role for you? And that could be on any level, communicating, teaching, being an advocate for generosity and care. It doesn't matter to me. I want to know who has been somebody that you would say this was a coach to me.
I've been blessed to have multiple coaches. The first one is a man named Zig Ziglar. And Zig Ziglar
a good one.
Was my personal mentor. And I was one of the pastors, along with a pastor named Jack Graham, actually did Zig's funeral. So we were extremely close. We wrote a book together, a daily devotional that we did. And Zig was a huge mentor in my life. And then he introduced me to this young pastor at the time. And he said, you two guys are a lot alike and you need to know each other. And there's a guy named John Maxwell. And about 120 books later, John is doing real well.
Yeah.
And
he's on track with his leadership.
At the time I met John, he was running tapes in his garage.
Wow.
And so we go back that far. He's one of my dearest friends.
Yeah.
So Zig was the guy who coached me. I have John who continues to coach me. I'm a certified trainer with John's organization.
Yeah.
Because
you're definitely paying it forward in the coaching world.
I always want to keep learning, and be a blessing. And as John says, add value. That's the key right there.
Yes.
And then there was a lady named Jean Hendricks. Jean Hendricks was the dean of Mercer University in Atlanta.
Okay.
And she allowed me to come into Mercer University when I've been a C&D student all of my life.
Right.
When I had flunked out of college when I was 17, I flunked out of this place called Kennesaw Junior College. And I've had people try to make me feel better and say, you probably weren't trying. Yes, I was. I was trying as hard as I could.
Right.
It just did not work out.
Yeah.
And so at 22, I became a Christian. And then I felt a call to ministry at 23. And Jean Hendricks ran into me in a hallway and asked me to share my story. And I told her what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
And she allowed me to get into Mercer University. She was the dean, and she changed my life.
Favor ain't fair.
Oh my gosh, that lady, till the day that I take my last breath, she helped to change the trajectory of my life. I don't think that college is for everyone.
Sure.
But for me, it changed my dynamic. My parents both had a 5th grade education.
All right.
My dad worked in rock quarries all of his life. He worked hard. Most honest man that I've ever met.
Yeah.
And, but financially speaking, we didn't have things. And my mother they both grew up during the Depression.
Yeah.
And so that's why the kind of work that you do at Yeomans,
absolutely,
making a difference in people's lives, helping them to have that stability, because my mother wrote a financial script for me that says this: there's a rainy day coming.
Yes.
So don't you get comfortable. And then the poorhouse is just around the corner, Mr. Big Shot.
Wow.
So I grew up scared to death of finance.
Absolutely.
Because of them and what they had experienced in their environment.
Right.
So it's taken a lot of people to do that coaching. And that's why you guys are financial coaches. And you're helping people to have that stability, and how great it is that you're recognized as a best of Cobb, but you're just good people.
Well, you stole my script, by the way, because I was going to ask you next, what would be those formative memories about money? That's the most amazing story right there. Scared to death.
Wondering how are you going to make ends meet?
Right.
I started working when I was really about 11 years old. We had a little corner meat and 3 that was a pharmacy, and I would work cleaning up the plates and the glasses and doing that kind of thing. And then I had an entrepreneurial bent. I developed a lawn care cutting, and so I did that. I recently went to the Social Security office to get a new Social Security card.
Right.
And the guy looked at it and said, "Do you realize that you started paying Social Security when you were 14? And I said, "Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I sure do." And got my first checking account at C&S Bank on Marietta Street, downtown Atlanta.
I love that.
So, it's always been a challenge.
Yeah.
And part of the challenge for me is I love to give.
I was about to say, so that intense need for stewardship and budgeting, but then also absolutely getting excited about generosity. I think that's a part that's pretty exciting. When did that come online, or what encouraged that?
I think the longer and the more I've grown in my faith. And for me, some of the generosity started in trying to help other kids go to college.
Okay.
And I had another mentor in my life.
Yeah.
His name's Jimmy Collins.
Okay.
Jimmy Collins was the 3rd person that Truett Cathy ever hired at Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
And is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy was one of those people. I was speaking to students all over America at the time.
Right.
And I would meet students that had so much potential, and they wanted to go to college, but they lacked the financial wherewithal. And Mr. Collins did an agreement with me. He said, "Ike, you find these kind of people, you believe in them, you bring them to me, let me and my wife pray about it, and we'll see about helping them." I can't tell you how many kids went to college because of Mr. Collins, not because of Ike Reichard. I didn't have the wherewithal.
Gotcha.
But sometimes it's having the influence, and it's knowing people and having that opportunity. And we're so fortunate here in Marietta. I mean, when you're listed about 3 years in a row as being the most generous city in America, and during COVID, when everything was so dark and everything was so over the top, the only thing that exceeded the level of need in this community was a level of generosity.
Man.
It was incredible.
Well, and if you believe that you are
us.
blessed to be a blessing, what an incredible thing that Marietta is being a part of.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
In 2019, we would have 300 people a night putting their head on a pillow. During the pandemic, it went to 1,500 people a night. Now it's settled back down. It's about 450 to 500 because, we do veterans housing.
Right.
Home Depot is our partner in veterans housing. You couldn't ask for a greater company to help you there.
It's incredible.
And we have a former full-bird colonel, Colonel Jana Poe, who runs that program, and she makes it amazing.
That's incredible.
We do tenant-based rental assistance. We do rapid rehousing. There's so many different facets to what we do. And then every day, on average, we're giving away 3.5 tons of food every day. And so here we are at Jim Miller Park. The single largest food drive we have is from the North Georgia Fair. And they do a night where you can come and you can get in if you bring 5 canned goods.
My family has,
to come in.
We've come in with a sax.
Well, buddy, that helps us so much. So, to Todd Miller and this whole crew here where we sit tonight, they're incredible about the way they give back to this community. Yeah. So I feel so fortunate at this stage in my life that I'm living in a community that I love so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate to put a date on things, but I do want to honor, because speaking of giving back, honoring students at that pivotal moment headed into college in 1999, graduating class of Harrison High School in 99. You spoke about baccalaureate, go Hoyas, Hoya Saxon. And we were blown away. We came to the event. You gave one of the most incredible, inspiring messages, and I will never forget it, because I remember thinking, you got so much going on, but then you took the time for these students that identified with their faith, came for that part. That was a big part of graduation for us, not the whole class, but there were some of us that had participated in FCA and were involved in our churches. And I just want to thank you for that moment, continuing to love on college kids, and pretty much at this point, like a Swiss Army knife, everybody else and every other thing. We appreciate you so much. And most importantly, thanks for taking the time tonight.
You're kind. Well, I love to be in La Jolla. And, my oldest daughter, Danielle, finished there. My daughter, Abigail, came through there, and then she went to North Cobb Christian.
Right.
But, for a number of years, I was the chaplain for Coach Cobley.
Yeah.
And did Coach Cobley's funeral as well. Oh. And to have that privilege, because I have all girls in my family. I have 2 daughters.
Right.
I have 2 granddaughters. I have 4 female rescue cats, a mother-in-law, and a wife. I'm a minority in a sorority.
Yes.
So getting to be on those sidelines on Friday night, oh, man, what a blessing.
Deal. It's a big deal. Thank you so much. Take care.
Appreciate it.
So excited to be here with Justin Mobley of Affinity Home Lending. Loan officer, sometimes people I would imagine's best friend.
Absolutely.
You're helping them get across the finish line.
That's right.
I am not also interviewer and someone who has refinanced and benefited from Affinity. Tell me a little bit about, you guys are not new to Best of Cobb, but what does something like an honoring like this mean to you guys?
Oh, it's great. It really just reflects on what the community feels about us. And I think that is what's most important. We strive to provide great service in the mortgage industry, obviously, not only helping people purchase homes, which is obviously, for first-time home buyers, that is a huge
it's daunting
expense.
At best.
It's daunting. We try and make it as easy, simple, and honestly quick as possible.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We don't want to drag the process out any longer than it has to be, because, again, it's a lot of stress on the home buyer in that case. From there, really like to kind of keep track of their mortgage and be mortgage advisors moving forward.
Yes.
In terms of refinances, when it may or may not make sense, things of that nature to really make sure. And I think that that Affinity has done a really, really good job of that. And that is why they have selected us and voted for us, and it's really an honor. Very
well.
It's Affinity,
well-known name in Marietta, and it's because you guys are trusted and for good reasons. The loan officers have always been, like you said, it's something that is daunting, but entered the right way. And if you've got somebody that's listening and hearing you and helping you, maybe you don't know the right questions to ask.
Correct.
And I really feel like you guys do a good job of filling in the gaps.
Right. Yep. And that's a big piece, is knowing the questions to ask and really understanding what the goal is.
Yeah.
Because the goal may not be just to simply refinance. You may be looking at something very specific, and there may be a specific loan product for that.
Yeah.
Maybe you're looking to actually renovate, and you just think you're looking to refinance for whatever reason. Well, there may be a renovation product that helps you. Same thing when you're purchasing. There may be different products based on a multitude of factors that are going to suit you specific. And that's what we do a really good job is shopping your profile to our investors to figure out where the great fit is, and what's going to be the best fit and rate for you.
And oftentimes people forget that tailor fit and purpose of financial products and services it's a big part of it.
It is. It absolutely is.
Do you want a big jacket off the rack, or do you want something that's going to make you look nice?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So you guys have been here before, and I appreciate you taking the time to come and sit with us. What are some of the other businesses that here at Best of Cobb that are ones that have left an impression with you?
Yep. So to be honest with you, we have done a lot of work with Ansley Real Estate, here in Marietta as well.
Yeah, another really well-known
shout
name.
out to them. They're fantastic. Met lots of great people tonight, and one of the roofing companies actually we connected and are going to be able to get some renovation products for them specifically. That's what they're looking for.
Good networking going on here at Best of Cobb.
It was great. So yeah, really good.
All right, so for you specifically, do you have an earliest memory about money?
Yes. So probably my earliest memory about money, I remember just being a kid. We're down at Disneyland. Or Disney World, whichever one's in Florida. And I remember going in the gift shop and all I want to do is huge Star Wars fan. All I want to do is have this one Star Wars book.
Yeah. And at least the souvenirs at Disney World are affordable.
well, I don't know if they're affordable then, really, right? But yeah, my earliest memory is I had to use half of my own money to buy this thing.
So mom and dad went in dollar for dollar.
Mom and dad went in dollar for dollar.
Great parenting.
50-50 split. It cost me $25, which was probably about all I had at the time.
Gotcha.
As like an 8-year-old kid, right? 10-year-old
digging for the quarters under the bed.
But yeah, they were gracious enough, and that really just taught me, the things I'd done around the house, my chores that I got a little bit of money for, I was able to go out and put that to use for what I wanted or needed. And so that's a great memory, and kind of, as I tell my clients even now, I need to know the pieces on the table so I can put the puzzle together.
Yeah.
The goal is never to spend the money, but to make it the best for you. Like you said, tailor everything to you. Even if you could buy the house in cash, if that's not what your goal is. Should you?
Yeah. No,
100%.
I love what you said. One of the things that is really important to us at Yeomans is everybody needs a coach. Yes. And coming in and being coachable, coming in and laying out opportunities or challenges and allowing someone to say, hey, here's your options. And
Correct.
This might be a better fit for you.
Correct. And that's exactly what it is. Showing them what the option is and educating them on the product, on their loan. And to your point, saying, hey, you could put 20% down, but what does that additional, $30,000 if you only put 10% down? What does that do for you?
How does that work out?
My question to them is, or my response to them is, do you have a financial advisor? Can you go speak to them and ask them what they think?
Right.
Because that's not my area of expertise.
Right.
My area is the mortgages and how to get you in this home. And
Yes.
we can do it this way, and that's great. But is that what's best for you long term? And I would rather be, instead of just a loan officer, I want to be an actual mortgage advisor for a financial well-being based around your home.
And you hit on such a good point, your team. And if you don't have a team, well, then you're going to function solo, and you're only going to have the abilities that you've got the knowledge of. So making sure that the CPAs, the loan officers, the financial planners, and your attorneys, when that's appropriate, are all talking on your behalf. The people that know the angles best, you're going to come out with a better opportunity.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So that's a huge goal for us. Like I said, we're very proud to have been nominated and won here at Best of Cobb. It's awesome. And
Justin, you're about as local as it gets.
I am.
Tonight, I also got to interview Ike Reichert, who spoke at the Harrison Hoya class of 1999 baccalaureate.
That's right.
You were also Hoya Saxon 99.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
I think the most exciting thing from my perspective, dovetailing off of what you said, in a room full of innovators, entrepreneurs, and listen, I'm going to be honest, there's some people in the room, they just wanted it more. They just worked harder. Some of them, the story started in their early 20s, and some of them, it started over in their 30s or 40s. Wow. So the success in this room was varying in origin story and the moment of life and when it happened, but they all were passionate and they were all putting people first.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is they didn't always do it the first time. You know,
and
then to hear some of the stories of who influenced them and recognize, man, you know, that you are making a difference. You are sowing seeds, you know, you are inspiring people. And sometimes you don't see it right away, but it encourages you to do a great job, to be authentic in what you do and have integrity in what you do.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that we interviewed today, you could just hear it in what they were doing, the integrity that they bring to the table.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
100%.
Yeah. And I think, you know, you cannot, you know, come into an event like this and just look at, you know, all of these wonderful businesses that have success and not be encouraged. I mean, it's easy to say, you know, if only I could do this or if only I could be that. But at the end of the day, if you just measure, like every single person had, just like you're saying, like a different way to get there. They, you know, they didn't start the same. Some of them, Aaron, just like you said, they started over. And sometimes it's the grind, and that grind really can take you from where you are to where you want to be. And I think it's important when you're surrounded by so much success like we were in this room to appreciate that these people put in effort and now they're being celebrated. Yeah. And I think, you know, Randy, I want to, you know, thank you. Thank you for starting the firm. Thank you for being innovative. I know you went through a grind that most people will never know or understand, but because of that, we're best investment for Cobb County right now, 30th year in business, and we're serving hundreds and hundreds of people, but it would not be if it hadn't started with your grind.
Well, it was a tough grind, but I can tell you the magic happened when I started hiring people better than me. When I started finding people with different unique abilities than me, and I gave up the things that I wasn't good at and hired people who are good at it. And now we have an organization that really serves much better than anybody can. And we have a team. You know, that's what's exciting about where we are. We have a team of people who I've heard this from other team members, other people in our industry. It's just phenomenal. I mean, we have put together the best, you know, and as one of our employees said, you know what? I love coming to work. He said, I've never worked at a place where I love coming to work. I've never had an experience like this before in my life. And,
it's a difference
you know,
maker.
I'm telling you, hearing that was one of the most moving things I've had in my entire career, because I know how genuine he was when he shared that with us. And it really was an example of what we've built in the company. And that has been getting better people in the organization who care and serve. So,
well, before we close out, you know, tonight,
I think
which has been an incredible, you know, really an incredible event, an incredible evening. I want to thank you to everyone who has supported us along the way. Thank you for all of those who voted for us. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve you both as clients and members of our community. You know, sincerely, thank you.
Yep. I think the common denominator there is generosity. And Randy, you have set the pace when it comes to being generous with time, with knowledge, with resources, and for the different community organizations that we get to partner with, like Ollie at Kennesaw State University. You know, it's amazing. You know, just to be a part of community and network like that. And again, Randy, I want to echo what Nic said. You set the pace. Do the things that other people are unwilling to do, so we can see results that are different. Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate
it. With that said, best of Cobb, #1.
Hey, listen, thanks for tuning in, and stay coachable. We hope you enjoyed today's show, but you may have questions for our coaches, and they can be emailed at connect@yourretirementcoach.com. If you know someone that needs to hear this episode, we encourage you to share it. As a reminder, the content of this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be construed as advice. On behalf of our coaches, we want to thank you for listening and for being coachable.
Yeomans Consulting Group, a registered investment advisor YouTube channel based in Marietta, Georgia. We strive to provide comprehensive wealth management services for every stage of the journey. This platform is solely for informational purposes and is not offering advisory services or sales of securities. Investing involves risk and possible loss of principal capital. Comments by viewers or recognitions are no guarantee of future investment outcomes and do not ensure that a viewer will experience a higher level of performance or results. Public comments posted on this site are not selected, amended, deleted, or sorted in any way. If applicable, certain editing of personal, identifiable information and misinformation may be deleted. The opinions expressed herein are as of the date of publication and are subject to revision due to changes in the market or economic conditions and may not necessarily come to pass. This podcast was filmed at Podium Studios at Marietta Square. Grow your business with turnkey, professional quality podcasting, live streaming, and online events. Don't worry about editing. Don't worry about anything. Just come in and record. Learn more at thepodium.studio. Step up to the podium.